Hello and welcome to another episode of Build Your Own App, where we showcase high agency individuals who are not afraid to go out there and build things. Today we have with us Deep Suchak, who built a viral Y Combinator AI startup school simulator. The AI startup school organized by Y Combinator on June 16 and 17 is a mass gathering of over 2,500 of the biggest and brightest minds throughout the United States and the world to hear from top AI founders and experts. Deep applied to get in like thousands of others, but his application was waitlisted. And so instead of twiddling his thumbs and waiting around, he decided to build this so as to serve as his ticket to get accepted into the program. His post has since gone mega viral on LinkedIn, attracting the attention of dozens of industry stalwarts and past YC founders. So many people have since pledged their support and have promised to put in a good word for Deep with people higher up at Y Combinator. So without any further ado, let's jump in. Deep, welcome.
Hi, it's so nice to be here finally.
Yeah, yeah. So, do you want to kick us off by talking us through, yeah, just kind of your experience with building this project, why you built it? I know you were waitlisted by Y Combinator. Just can you give us some context around what made you build this? And then obviously we'll jump into the demo as soon as you're done with sharing that.
Definitely. So the thing was, IC opened an AI startup school. It is an event, a 2-day event where they're calling 2,500 students from across the world. They're even sponsoring their flight tickets if they need to, in order to bring those guys. And they have a guest speakers to kind of inspire the next generation in building in.
Okay,
So it happened so that I applied. I made sure my application was as unique as possible. But I guess I was a little bit late while applying. I applied like a couple of weeks back, I think 3 weeks back. And as soon as I applied, within half an hour, I got an email that I was waitlisted. So I was like,
interesting.
I think I need to do something out of my way now in order to have their attention. So which
Hmm.
is why I
And
built a
had you applied
simulation.
using the same project that you built here? Like, was it the same simulation or was it something else?
No, no, no. The application was very normal. You just had to fill out a small questionnaire, and it was
Hmm.
just that. I hadn't built this out
Okay,
until I got waitlisted.
I see. And but you were planning on building this itself, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So even if I mean, this project was in mind, but getting waitlisted just kind of lightened me up even a bit more that, I should actually get my hands, I mean, get into building
Yeah,
so that I have something to prove to them that yes, I am interested.
yeah, that no, that makes perfect sense, and hopefully you can still get in. Fingers crossed for that. But yeah, without any further ado, do you want to kick us off by sharing a demo of your simulation? I obviously took a look at it earlier, and yeah, it's pretty incredible. I love the Loom video that you had prepared, but yeah, if you can kind of share it here for our viewers, I think that would be wonderful.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, it is one of the most exciting things I've built personally. So I'll share my screen. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes. So this is the landing page, as you can see on the screen. So the thing was, we wanted to give it a touch of Pokemon, Pokemon Fire, Pokemon Red, the
Yeah,
old Pokemon games, right? Which we used
right,
to
right.
play on Game Boy or emulator. So
Yeah,
I
like the
mean, all
64-bit graphic style, right?
exactly, exactly. So all the credit goes to GPT-4. I mean, we had to give in a couple of prompts and it generated this image, which has all the guest speakers who will be speaking at YC, and those guest speakers are present in the simulation too. So we
Okay.
have small three buttons: the Enter YC Startup School, Getting Started Guide, just some controls, and the GitHub files. So if I press Enter YC Startup School, you can see that we are into the simulation,
Hmm. Right.
and I'll just give you a walk
Hmm.
across the park
Yeah.
and you can see all the NPCs. So this is Andre Karpathy. He's a famous AI tutor.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
There's Sam Altman. I walk here. You can see Jared Kaplan, John Jumper, Chelsea Finn. She's one of the Stanford professors. Then there is Satya Nadella. You have Elon Musk also in a coat who
Mm-hmm.
is roaming around. There's Arvind Srinivas, the Perplexity guy, and there's Andrew Ng, who is the
Mm-hmm.
co-creator of, oh, who is the creator of Coursera and DeepLearning.ai, world-class learning platforms. And there's me and Aditya. Aditya is my, I mean, the partner in crime for this. And since we were waitlisted, at least we made it to the simulation, right?
Right. Yeah. No, as you should, of course. So who is the person? The person is whoever's playing, right?
Yes, yes,
Essentially.
yes, yes, yes. This is the character which is also part of the simulator. So,
Okay.
which person do you want to talk to first?
Let's talk to Elon Musk. I mean, he's right there.
Let's talk to Elon Musk. So, I've hit space in order to kickstart the
Okay, I see.
conversation, and the dialog box appeared. So, if I write here, hi, you.
I like that how the characters are all moving around. They're not stationary. I think that adds a really nice touch to it.
So, your Elon Musk responded, likewise, excited to meet you. I'm working on making humanity and multiplanetary species with SpaceX and with
Mm-hmm.
Tesla. I mean, these are the two famous companies which he's working on.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we have also added a memory component. So let's say if I give Elon Musk context, hi, my name is Sophia. What working on? So if I press enter, Elon Musk acknowledges, okay, Sophia, I'm working on
Mm-hmm.
Tesla's fully self-driven technology, the new Cybertruck, and things like that. So now, one way to test the memory part is if I ask Elon Musk my name, he should remember, right? So if I ask, hi, do you remember me? So Elon Musk says,
Mm-hmm.
Sophia, we met before. I recall discussing Tesla's innovation, enhancing autopilot and battery tech. But
So yeah, hmm that's super impressive. One quick question is this like session specific or like because I didn't see you sign in or anything. The memory resets with each session, or is it like does it linger forever?
okay, so the thing is, we, in order to streamline the working, we have built up Docker containers,
Yeah.
and the Docker containers are extensive, memory intensive to build. They are
hmm
extremely large Docker containers. So currently,
Yeah.
I had the Docker container up and running just before presenting it to you. I
hmm
did a small testing round. So yeah, the thing is, if I stop the program, stop the Docker containers and rebuild it, the memory clears in itself.
Oh,
And
I see. Got it.
there's a new layout altogether. So
Cool. Makes sense.
do you want to?
No, so I think I get the yeah. Actually really curious to get into how you built all of this. So there's so many components here. There's so much going on. I think yeah. As much as I would love to talk to more people, I am yeah really curious to undig or find out from you how it is that you built this. So maybe we could start with an architecture diagram. I don't know what would make more sense, but yeah, if you can walk us through, if somebody wanted to recreate
Definitely,
this, how could they potentially do that?
definitely. So we have made, like, Aditya, who is a business guy, he helped me make the architectural diagram. I mean, after multiple whiteboarding sessions, we could jot it down. I have an image, I'll share that screen. So this is the architectural diagram. It might look intimidating when you view it for the first time because you can see there are multiple components involved, but I'll walk you through it, and trust me, it's
hmm
very, very, very intuitive.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's divide the entire architectural diagram into two parts. Okay. First is the offline component of the game. Second is the online or real time
hmm
component of the game, which helps real time communication. So I'll first walk you through the offline part and then through the online part.
Okay.
In the offline part, you can see we have used Wikipedia and some of the other data sources, all publicly available. And
Mm-hmm.
on top of that, we have built a RAG based agentic feature pipeline. So I'll
Okay.
tell you, all of the data is getting converted into numbers or
Mm-hmm.
embeddings and basically vectors, right? And those vectors are stored in memory. And we have used MongoDB as our database
Mm-hmm.
for having both short term and long term memory. All of the data sources are stored in the long term memory in the form of embeddings.
I see.
So this is just a one time process. Once you create a rack feature pipeline, the memory is filled. Then after the offline component is done, what we do is we get into the exact brain of how the AI agent works, how
Okay.
all the characters think in the first place. By think, I mean how the characters think in real time and how they actually respond. It's a mixture
Mm-hmm.
of three different things, and I'll tell you that. First is the state client. As you can see, this is the online part of the game, or the inference part of the game, which works in real time every time you
Mm-hmm.
type in something. So it's divided into three main parts. So before answering, the agent will keep in context all of these three things. Those three things being the state client, which is mainly connected with the short term memory. As you chat, it kind of remembers,
Okay. I
which we
see.
saw. Yeah. And then is the retrieval tool. Retrieval tool is mainly connected with the long term memory. And then there is prompt orchestration. By prompt orchestration, I mean we have kind of, I mean, to make Elon Musk, or to let the NPC think like Elon Musk, we have defined a set of prompts that, okay, that AI agent should assume the role of Elon Musk in the way he thinks what he is building, right?
So for each of the NPCs, they have their own specific prompts that tells them to behave like that particular person.
Correct.
Okay.
So
Makes
the
sense.
brain, so to keep this thing modular, and yeah, so to keep this thing modular, the agent brain of each and every NPC character, by agent brain, I mean the way they think is
Mm-hmm.
similar, but the
Right.
prompts, gives them their personalities.
Correct. Yeah. Makes sense.
And then we have connected all of this with Grok. So you can see there is a high chance that the agent ends up speaking a lot. But
Hmm.
we have used summary a summary interface wherein the response goes through another summarization prompt, and so that basically we don't exhaust our tokens.
Got it. And just so I'm understanding, this Grok is Grok AI, right? Like the XAI LLM, or is this
Yeah,
something else?
yes. So basically Grok helps for faster inferences. You could see the answers were very fast, and we have
Mm-hmm.
used llama 3.3 70 billion model, which is big in itself, but it Grok kind of distills the model so that we have faster responses. So the
Okay, got it.
main brain uses llama 3.370 billion, and the summary agent which I was talking about, it kind of summarizes the response, and we have used a small model for that because summary is easy, right? So we've used llama 3.38 billion model, the smaller one.
Interesting. Okay, and then what's that Langgraph stuff?
Yes,
LangChain?
yes, yes. So LangGraph is how we have kind of orchestrated all of these things into states, clients, and nodes, right?
Interesting.
Yes. So the entire orchestration, or the agent brain which I was talking about, we have built that in LangGraph. So the agentic layer you can see that is
Mm-hmm.
with LangGraph. And then we have, I mean, kind of wrapped it up. The backend is Fast API, helps, which acts as an interface between the user layer and when you type something, right? Let's say Fast API is the one is a mediator between your agent brain and the UI. So when you submit a request, right? Fast API is the one, okay, it found XYZ. Let's go to the agent brain. The agent brain should respond. Now it's up to the agent brain, as per the question,
Hmm.
whether it should go in the long term memory or whether it should go in the short term memory. The short term memory
Interesting.
stores all the states, conversations, like I put in my name, right? For example, Sophia.
Yeah.
So the
Right. Right.
NPC should remember, right, Sophia. So it will pull response from short term. But I ask something in detail about Tesla, it'll go to the long term memory of Elon's character.
Interesting. Okay. Makes sense.
So this was the actual meat of the simulation. And then we
Hmm.
have also built an observability pipeline. So the thing is, the responses, right? They need to be measured somehow. We need to evaluate those responses in order to build a production grade system. So we have
I see.
added a monitoring pipeline too using OPIC. So this is by Comet. It's one of the tools which helps you build that. And we've built an evaluation data set too. So the thing is, the responses, right? They get matched against the evaluation or the testing data set. And once, okay, if it matches the evaluation data set, which means the response is correct, you get the response.
Right. Interesting.
So I mean, yeah, this kind of rechecks or validates that, okay, what you are getting as an answer is actually true in real sense.
Interesting. So
So
yeah, this is obviously super helpful. Next, I was hoping you could walk us through kind of step by step, like any resources that you use, like what did you build first? Like I'm just trying to envision somebody that's, watching this, that is like, okay, this is all great, but and I understand the architecture, but where exactly does one start? How do you get one component to interact with the other? What is like kind of the order in which you kind of build this? So I don't know if it would be helpful to flash like your GitHub and such. I don't know the
mhm,
best way to do that, but I think that's the direction that I'm thinking about going next.
definitely, definitely. So the thing is, we have taken the architectural inspiration. I mean, we had some components in mind, but recently, two of the famous creators in the AI space, they created a similar town with philosophers and called
Okay.
them philo agents, philosopher agents. So basically, I mean, as you might know, it was probably Steve Jobs' vision that
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
should be able to talk to Aristotle, or and Aristotle should give you answers.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of mimicked this thing, I mean, Steve Jobs' vision, and they created philo agents. And this is the philo agents course, as you can see on the screen. And this was their architecture, which we took
Okay.
inspiration from. So you
Right.
can find everything, all the details, all the specific things about the UI, from all the way to UI to building the memory system to building the
Mm-hmm.
agent brain. They've covered each and everything. So it was more
Nice.
like, I'll be very honest, it was not more like building from scratch, but it was like pulling out the pieces which we don't need and putting those pieces which we need, and then we had the
Mm-hmm.
entire system in place because
Interesting.
we wanted to get this prototype out immediately in front
Yeah, obviously. And
of
also, there's no point in reinventing the wheel, right? If you have the
exactly
blueprint, then you want to use that blueprint, obviously. Yeah.
correct.
So,
And coming back to your question, so this was the town which they had built. As you can
okay. Yeah.
see, have we are still yet to change all the UI components. For example, the map you can see is the same, but we are actively dabbling the JavaScript code and trying to, you know,
Mm-hmm.
change the UI in such a way that it mimics YC's actual,
Yeah.
let's say, Menlo Park, for example, that all the leaders are roaming around. And
Interesting.
how can one start? You can see there are all the modules wherein, as I said, right, the architectural overview, they've walked you through each and everything step by step. So you
Got
can
it.
actually
Got it.
follow the video lectures and the Substack articles with the code files, and you can get straight hands on with it and create your own world.
Nice. That's super helpful. One thing that comes to mind in terms of, future usages for this is letting the users themselves train the NPCs. So, you know how we talk about at one point AI will grant us immortality. So if you have, say, an old person in your family that passed away, and say you have their emails or WhatsApp, and like the way they interacted, the way they talked, and if you could zip it all up in one zip file, upload that to your NPC, call it their name, then you could possibly be able to talk to them forever whenever you miss them, and they would interact and talk in the way that they used to while in real life. Sorry, I know that's morbid and I don't know why I went there, but yeah, obviously there are so many ways to extend this, right? And
Hmm.
I'm sure you would have given it some thought as well. So yeah, what are your plans of, where is this going next? What do you plan to do with it outside of changing the UI, of course?
Correct. So how we have thought about this is we have broken the entire thing down from the user's perspective into two sides. One is the character sides, as you said, that you can probably change, mix and match characters, and you can get a new thing entirely. And second is the environment in itself.
Hmm.
So one of the example use cases which we had in mind is my sister actually, when she works at a remote company, so they have a UI similar to this, wherein they have NPCs of all the team members, and they have created the UI in such a way that I mean, they've kind of mimicked an office in terms of UI, how your
I
typical
see.
office looks, different desks and things like that. So the thing is, we can implement that thing, the UI part, we can change the characters, but we can also give them real-time communication ability. Let's say
Hmm.
if
Right.
some person is not working, so they just move their NPC towards a lake.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
the NPC, your NPC, you can walk it to the person who is probably chilling at the lake, and you can go and ask them questions and give that real time communication ability, and at that time it should tell you, okay, I'm away from keyboard or something like that.
yeah,
So
I see.
this is how we are planning to tackle both the characters and the environment, because changing one thing can immediately give you a completely different look and feel. So we are exploring multiple use cases in that area too.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. I guess my only question around that is, actually, before I ask the question, a cool thing that comes to mind that will add on to what you said is, with AR VR goggles becoming more and more mainstream, you can use this to
Hmm.
simulate a fully actual in-person environment while the employees are still working remotely, right? So instead of interacting this on your 2D screen, if you can have a AR
Hmm.
version of this game, we'll just call it a game for now, then you can
Hmm.
physically go and interact with people again, be it your coworkers or fictional people or people from history or whatever the case might be. So that is one obviously angle to it, which is very interesting. The other thing though, and like this is just kind of a dumb question, but I guess, how do you see this at one point giving, at least with the context that you mentioned around the employees, how would why would somebody use that over just like Slack? Does that make sense? Like, what added
Hmm.
benefit does it have outside of obviously being more personable and things
Hmm.
like that? Just want to make sure I'm not missing something.
So the thing is, especially in remote companies, there is always, I mean, I've seen this firsthand in my sister's case, that that ability to interact with the other person, right? Or I mean, it's
Hmm.
a completely different game, I think, when you work in person and you work remote. So the ability to actually interact, that personal touch, I feel that is very much missing when it comes to remote work. I mean, as you said, there are Slack channels, but you actually, I mean, come on, I mean, you cannot ask a lot of things over Slack, which you probably might
Yeah,
have
yeah,
discussed with in person. And
for
I
sure.
feel
Yeah, yeah.
this this doesn't completely solve, but as you said, if you include AR, VR, and this technology together, I see a big potential that yes, this, I mean, even while sitting home on your laptop, you can actually see your
Hmm.
office, let's say, and you can talk to them in real time. So this
Yeah,
definitely
totally.
is a big opportunity, I feel, which we could explore in the near future, or other startups could. Or
Yeah,
what
for
if
sure.
I
And then
build something of my own?
yeah, and like you already have taken the first few steps, right? So definitely something to keep in mind. Last question before I let you go here. How does it feel to go viral on LinkedIn?
So the thing was, didn't obviously premeditate, but I had something in mind that, oh, okay, this has potential to blow up on LinkedIn and attract like-minded people. And that actually happened. The community was very supportive of liking this and tagging YC or different partners too in order to accept our application. So
Yeah.
yes, I mean, once the good things started flowing, they obviously it kind of poured. And let's see, I hope we still get accepted.
Yeah, hopefully this video can play a small part. And then just for our listeners, who were some of like, the heavier hitters that engaged with your post? Because I know that was kind of a long list, but I'm curious if, yeah, any names that come to mind.
Yes, so there were some big names. There were some people from Google who were in the leadership position kind of engaged. I had a chat with them too. And
Nice.
mainly there were a few YC. Okay, so as you know, YC has batches, right? So in the spring batch, there are a couple of founders who are currently working directly with the YC partners, and even they recognize this and they were like, okay, I mean, no promises, but yeah, we'll spread the word around and let's see
Nice.
what
Yeah, that's
happens.
as much as you can ask, right?
Exactly.
Just, yeah, random strangers. No, but that's so cool. And yeah, really kudos to you and Aditya for building this out. Thanks so much for sharing with us how you were able to do that, and I'm sure anybody that's willing will be able to kind of replicate this also in their own ways or however they would like. Yeah, any other things you want to mention before we close out? Any good to knows for our audience before we let you go?
I mean, just one thing, that this was one of the use cases which I tried building with something which already existed.
Hmm.
So anybody who wants to learn how to build agentic systems, I mean, there are tons of resources and you can just get hands-on with it. And rather than starting from bottom to top, I
Hmm.
guess
Yeah,
you should work top to bottom given the speed with which AI is going on. So rather than
absolutely.
studying what is AI, you should
Hmm.
actually try to build something first. And during and while you enter that rabbit hole of building, you can see things live in front of you, which kind of motivates me personally that, okay, yes, I can see something working, let's build upon it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you always have chat gpt and different other AI tools which can actually tell you in detail that, okay, why you built
Hmm.
it and how you built it. So you get your knowledge transfer there, and you have something ready to in probably a weekend, like how we built.
Exactly, yeah. As opposed to doing just courses for 6 months and having nothing to show for it, right? And
Correct.
probably even losing motivation along the way. That's a helpful
Hmm.
call out. Obviously, it kind of segues into the whole point of this crossover episode that we're making here between Ready Set Do and Build Your Own App. But yeah, thanks so much for taking the time, Deep. I wish you all the best. I hopefully you get accepted, and I know that you're also currently in the market for a job. So I'm sure this will any employer out there will definitely be impressed with what you've built here, and I'm sure you'll be in no time working a job that you really like and enjoy. So appreciate you taking the time. Thanks so
Definitely.
much.
Yep. Definitely. I mean, I'm planning to build things over the weekend, so definitely you can expect something interesting next Monday too.
Sounds great. Yeah, and then we can have one more of these episodes.
Definitely.